What up, Skid? Welcome to Bar Vibes with Bryce the Fourth, giving out raw reaction and interacting with the masses. No subject is safe. You hear the people that knows, but that's the point, because without the people, what is the point? Embrace some vibrations. First and foremost, there's no first and foremost. I know for a fact that there are people who didn't think that I was going to talk about this week, because if you watch football, you already know what happened. But we can get right into it. Eagles got their asses handed to them. Is what it is. Got spanked, trashed, tiddlywink. I don't even know if that's the right terminology or if I use that in the right context, but I mean, the Niners came and they went with a dub. For me, they were so amped up after losing in the NFC Championship game last year, where this was their Super Bowl. This is what they were waiting for the entire year, even when they were losing in the NFC. And even when they had other business to take care of, they were solely focused on this game. The Niners were. Eagles were not. Eagles were winning, in weird fashions, and it was a poorly called defensive game, and I don't want to downplay, Brock Purdy doing what they ask him to do. You call the play, he makes the throw, and you let your playmakers make the plays. But don't put him, Brock Purdy, on a pedestal where it's like, look at me, or look at him. Brock Purdy is MVP candidate. Anybody can throw, a wide receiver screen. Anybody can throw a 4-yard slant. You can find backup quarterbacks that can do that. He was a backup quarterback. Am I wrong? No. No pressure on Brock Purdy. Problem. Your linebackers are giving up 175 yards after catch. Problem. Because when you go and look and see, your number one corner targeted 5 times, 33 yards. Your number 2 corner not targeted at all. But your middle linebacker gave up 175 yards, 2 touchdowns. Problem. Your defensive line barely gets any pressures. Problem. You're not running the football. Problem. You got Eagles fans waking up in the morning on their day off, going to the training facility with a sign that says, "Run the ball." People who don't even have the football acumen know what the problem is. I've watched a lot of football in my days. It's not that complicated, but I'm not upset because there's only one team in the NFL, and you can tell me who it is, with double-digit wins. I'll wait. Yeah, exactly. So, 10-2. We got a big game this week, and I literally said, I just need one of two, preferably this one. I didn't think they were going to get their asses whooped like they did. And I'm not sure if it's an issue with the whole Jalen Hurts not running thing, but me no concern. Kudos to the Niners. Their fans showed up, which as they should. Again, this is a game where they were looking forward to this in the summertime. No Will Smith. So they got the dub, and it is what it is. But the Eagles went into this game number 1 overall seed, and the Eagles go into this week number 1 overall seed. Go Birds. On to the rest of the league. Bengals Jags. I went into this game like, damn, we gotta watch Jake Browning. We got a privilege to watch Jake Browning. He only had 5 incompletions on 37 attempts. So what does that say about the Jags defense? You let a man who didn't take any first team reps on the field destroy you. Now, if you think about it, you're like, oh yeah, he's probably throwing like, dink and dunk. No. He was giving you 15-yard passes down the middle. He was throwing it to Jamar Chase down the sideline. Kudos to Jamar Chase, like making really contested catches, doubled. But Jake Browning tore them apart. It does suck that Trevor Lawrence got hurt. You could tell what it was when he almost tried to stand up, and then he like pounded his fist on the field because he's got a high ankle sprain. If you've never had a high ankle sprain, you don't understand how much that fucking shit hurts. It sucks. You limp around, you barely can put on a shoe, and he knew. I mean, he tried to be like, hey, I'm a tough guy, don't get me the cart. Nah, give me the cart. He was walking through the tunnel for like 10 minutes. That shit sucks. That's a 4 to 6 week minimum injury. The Jaguars were rolling, and now they're not. Flat tires. Bengals hopes, I don't know. AFC is getting up there, but they took a step in the right direction. If Jake Browning can play like this week to week for the rest of the season, Bengals might have a chance. They just might. Chiefs Packers. Obviously, just like me, surprised the shit out of me. The Chiefs, I don't know where they are right now, but you do the thing where it's like you did with the Patriots when they were in their heyday with Tom Brady. It's like, yeah, they're losing a game or two here, but they're the Chiefs. The Chiefs don't really have an identity. They don't have a powerful running game. Their receivers are awful, and I know where I've been there before. Early 2000s Eagles, they drop balls left and right. They have 32 drops going into week 14. Not going to work for you. And kudos to, Patrick Mahomes not throwing his receivers under the bus, but he might have to run a bus and just run everybody over because they are fucking up. Jordan Love is not blowing up the world, but he's also not losing you the games. You see his stat line over 300 with 3 touchdowns. That's all you need. Your defense makes the plays when they need to be made. You get a nice little pick off of Patrick Mahomes at the end of the game to ice it. That's how you get a dub. Chiefs haven't had a road playoff game in the 5 past years, so we don't know if they can do it. But they're going to probably have to show us because the way that things are moving and shaking with them right now, they're going to be on the road at some point. Kudos to the Packers. Browns-Rams. Joe Flacco just probably sitting on his couch, just like, yeah, I don't feel like being home. Anybody want me to play? And then Browns was like, yeah, we need you, my boy. And he didn't. It wasn't a bad game for him. Just like Joe Flacco, he throws a pick when he doesn't need to be throwing a pick, but he also throws some deep bombs when he needed to throw a deep bomb. He had 2 touchdowns and a pick. 38 years old, hasn't played a significant down in almost over a year. If the Browns had Joe Flacco earlier in this year, their record would be a little bit better. I honestly think so. But they had Deshaun Watson, and he went down, and they tried to like plug and play, and it didn't work. But they finally were like, no, fuck that. We need a guy who's competent, and it almost worked. It almost worked. But the Rams have a really great rookie receiver in Puka Nacua. He has set the record for most wide receiver yards as a rookie in Rams history. That's fire. It wasn't much to talk about in this game other than the Rams are still fighting for that 7 seed. And good for them because Matt Stafford, a healthy Matt Stafford, can get you there. You got Cooper Kupp. You got a nice running game. You never know. Bucks Panthers. I don't want to judge a rookie, you know, with you firing his coach, with a terrible offensive line, not many weapons. You gave away his best receiver, Miles Sanders, not doing anything. I'm pissed off that I didn't fucking start Chuba Hubbard in fantasy. Otherwise, I wouldn't have lost by 2. But that's neither here nor there. And the Bucks are in a position where they can fight because the NFC South is a toss-up. It's literally like playing fucking, 5,000. The game where you just throw jackpot. You have no idea. The team leading in that division is under 500 currently. So, Baker Mayfield is doing his best to prove himself. Not really working. You're still turning the ball over. Doesn't really matter. You played a shitty-ass Panthers team who doesn't even have a first-round pick because it goes to the Bears. So what are we doing here, Panthers? I said that I think that Bill Belichick actually might go to the Panthers if the Patriots let him go. But they need an identity, and they don't have one. Cardinals, Steelers. Kenny Pickett gets hurt. I believe that he's out for this season. He already had surgery, so I don't have to believe anything. It just is what it is. And my biggest takeaway from this game is why the fuck are the Cardinals? Okay, let me stop. Football is not a game where you can tank because men are going to be men, and they're prideful, and you don't want the guy across from you to be like, yeah, I'm stronger than you, I'm bigger than you, I'm better than you. So there's no tanking in the NFL. But the Cardinals should not be winning games right now. They should not be worried about winning games. They should be worried about draft picks, getting better, and coming back. But yet, here they go, winning this game. And I can understand why they did, because you put in fucking Mitch Trubisky. And if you know anything about Mitch Trubisky, he gonna lose that game. Waste of a first-round pick in Mitch Trubisky. Kyler Murray came back. He looks like the guy that they re-signed in coming off the ACL. Good for him. But these are not games that Cardinals should be winning. They should be losing these games. The Steelers look like they were going to be in the running to get, at least the 7th seed. That's not going to happen when you lose Kenny Pickett. It sucks. Not for me. Steelers fans, you got that. Colts Titans. This was actually probably the most exciting game of the entire week, honestly. The Titans kicked a lot of field goals, and the Colts, I don't know who is going to get Coach of the Year. If the Colts get into the playoffs, I might have to give it to Shane Steichen. I just might. You lose your first-round pick and your quarterback, and you're still winning these games, especially the divisional games. When you get a game where Derrick Henry shows up, he gives you 2 touchdowns, and you still beat the Titans, and Will Levis actually looks like the guy. I say that if he starts the season, they might win this game. But, with experience comes confidence, and he didn't really have that much experience to start the season, but he looks like he is prepared to win them some games next year, not this year. But at the end of the day, like I said, Gardner Minshew is serviceable. Somehow, some way, if the Texans, who I'll talk about next, don't show up, Colts may actually get themselves a division. And then we got Falcons-Jets. Atlanta gave the Jets multiple chances to win this game. It was 13-8. And if you're a Jets fan, you tell me what you're doing at quarterback. You got a quarterback who got hurt, Aaron Rodgers. Got it. I get it. You thought at the beginning of the season it was going to be magical. You get all of these primetime games. He gets hurt. You can't predict that. It happens. And then you get Zach Wilson, who is terrible. absolutely awful, bum, and you take him out, and then you put in Tim Boyle, and then you cut Tim Boyle, tell Zach Wilson he's going to start. He's like, I don't think I want to. The lack of confidence in the quarterback position in New Jersey is terrible. And yes, I said New Jersey because that's where they play. The Falcons, what do you want me to say? Again, NFC South, it's a toss-up. You play good here or there. You win the division, you get yourself a playoff home game, get some tickets sold. This is another game where it's just like, what are we talking about here? Lions Saints. The Lions defense did their best to keep the Saints in this game. They had a stronghold on them. Que será? Had a stronghold on them. 21-0. And then you come out of halftime where you're supposed to make adjustments, and the Saints had 3 opportunities in the fourth quarter to come back and beat them. That's not a good defense, man. It's just not. Taysom Hill is a monster. If I had a tight end that could throw the football, I would start him every game. They're overthinking it in New Orleans. Nola is overthinking it. I would start Taysom Hill because you put in that guy, Jameis Winston, and then you get problems. Then you get issues. The bottom line is, again, NFC South toss-up. What are we talking about here? Keep it simple, stupid. Just keep it simple. It's not that big of a deal. Broncos, Texans. Texans, kudos to you. You guys got a stud, CJ Stroud. He's a gamer. And Denver was on a nice little ride there until Mr. Unlimited decided to throw some picks that he should not be throwing. Red zone pick, which was horrendous. The guy was standing right in front of the tight end, and he thought, let me throw it up. But he's standing right in front of him. Just throw it out of bounds, take your 3, and call it. And I don't understand why you don't, run it on 3rd and short. Or you don't trust your defense to, punt it into the territory where you put a rookie and CJ Stroud into a position where he's going to make a mistake probably. And they don't do that. I'm going to reiterate this. Texans are playing in a division where you get a win here or there, and you were just looking at a 10-7, 9-8 record, and you get yourself a playoff home game. CJ Stroud, he's going to be offensive rookie of the year. I mean, here we are talking about CJ Stroud being the MVP. Weird, right? Crazy. Dolphins, Washington. I'm not going to talk about this much. I'm sorry, not Dolphins, Washington. Chargers. Chargers, Pats, excuse me. 6-0. That's all I really have to say about this. The ball was on the ground all day. It was a punt fest. 3 straight games the Patriots have not given up more than 10 points, and they lost them all. So who do we blame? Think about it. I'm going to let you figure that out. There's nothing to say about a 6-0 game. There really isn't. It was 6-0. Seahawks, Cowboys. I watched this entire game. I almost want to put on a Seahawks jersey. It was back and forth. Gino looked good in the first half. Gino looked good in the third quarter. Back and forth. They had multiple leads, the Seahawks did. And I will give credit where his credit is due. Dak had a good game. He really did. And then Seattle just fucking flatlined. I don't know if it was the play calling It wasn't the defense because they were still getting scored on. The last, I don't need to get into it too much, but the last play of the game for the Seattle Seahawks. How in the fuck do you allow the best player on the field, and Micah Parsons, to go untouched at your quarterback to end the game? The man was never touched. On a 4th and 3, and you throw it. I am butthurt about this because the Seahawks had this game. Now, yes, Cowboys, you won the game, and I get it. Just remember, you're not leading this division. You got to take care of business. So, enjoy the win. You deserved it because the Seahawks were just making boneheaded plays, and your offense was playing lights out. Not the defense, the offense. Enjoy it. In other news, the NBA. They call it the IST tournament now. I think that's stupid. It's a little bit better now. It's like where it's a bracket formula now. You know who's playing who. It's gotten better because at the beginning of the tournament nobody knew the rules or where who beats who or what have you. But it's not bad. LFC won today. Up the Reds. You already know you never walk alone. Man City lost. Chelsea lost. Gotta have it. But anyway, big ups to the first state. Stay focused and be great. Take a sip. Much love from the kid. Enjoy your day. Enjoy life. Stay chill. And we got a good old Xmas coming up. So say what's up to your families when you get a chance.